Hi, I'm Ed.
I'm Barb.
This is Carp Family Adventures. So today we're going to talk about our scenic cruising through Fiordland National Park in New Zealand. So this is really our last stop in New Zealand, but we didn't stop. We just got to see the fjords.
Even though it does say all aboard at 5:30.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
So this was day 24, Thursday, February 13th. So basically we did get up and do the breakfast buffet before we arrived at Fiordlands National Park. But then we arrived, we got to listen to the announcer over the TV. They brought on someone who worked at the national park, who gave a lot of details about the history and where we were going. We ended up going through, we went in and out of the fjords sort of 3 times. So we did one set of fjords the first time, and then went out to the open sea, and then we did the second set, went in and out, and then the third one, which was Milford Sound, which was kind of the main one. Yeah, it was the nicest one. That was the last one. We went in there around 3:45 in the afternoon and got out around 5 or 6, between 5 and 6, and then the pilot the narrator got off on the pilot boat, and then we sailed out into the Tasman Sea to go to Sydney.
But in between that, so in the morning after breakfast, we did go and went up to deck 15.
Oh yeah.
And we were able to snag a little spot, and we were able to grab 2 chairs over and just sit out there. We were out there for about an hour and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. But it was getting pretty cold, and of course, I didn't bring my jacket with. Well, I didn't take it up. I was wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and my Crocs. Yeah. So Ed was kind enough to go back to the cabin and get my jacket and my hat.
Yeah.
The wind was blowing quite a bit, and then also they had blankets. It really felt like we were in Alaska.
Yeah, it was just like what they do at Glacier Bay or College Fjord or whatever. When you do scenic
coffee,
cruising there, they were also selling binoculars.
Oh, that's true.
Which I think they do in Alaska too.
And the photographers were walking around. So we took a couple pictures, and I think we're gonna buy one.
Yeah.
So we'll have to share that if we get it, which I think we will, because it was cute. And we're holding a sign that says Fiordland. Fiordland.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Okay, whatever.
So yeah, we were up on deck 15 for the first sound that we went into.
Yeah.
They have crayfish traps, I guess. But we did see the little orange bobbers that were how they reel in the crayfish traps. And I guess crayfish are also the same thing as rock lobsters, which they sell for apparently a lot of money to the restaurants. So they do that fishing in parts of the area. A lot of the national park is off limits to fishermen. There's a recent agreement where they redefined the rules about who's allowed to fish in the park and stuff. So the second sound, we were in our cabin and looking out at that. And then for the third one, we went out onto the front deck on deck 11 where our cabin is. There's a door out to the front, and Island Princess is pretty good, even though they keep that door closed most of the cruise, but they opened it for Fiordland.
Oh, and then they also said that they open it when you do the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of booking, this would be a really good cabin to do.
Our cabin's in a really good location for deck 11 for the front deck. They also have an open deck on deck 10.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe deck 9, but then below that's like the crew.
But I liked where we were. Area. It was really nice, and it wasn't that really crowded. Good. It was fantastic. But also in between that, there was a bit of a break when we were going from one area to another. That they went ahead and did a lecture in the Princess Theater for an hour. It was at 2 o'clock, I think it was, 2 to 3, and then around 3:45 is when we were getting into another area.
Yeah.
So that was really neat too.
Yeah, that was helpful to see. And they talked about, it was actually the narrator who was doing it on the PA system, gave the lecture and had a slideshow. showed us all the animals and fish and octopus.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear all about that.
And also the invasive species that they introduced in the 20th century that they're dealing with now, like rabbits and stoats as predators. And what was the third one?
Oh, geez.
I can't remember
either.
But they introduced these predators. And
I can see the picture of them, but I can't think of what,
Predators and prey, and they're having to deal with that now because they overrun just like the rabbits in Australia. So, but it was a very interesting lecture.
Yeah.
And then, we went into Milford Sound. That was the nicest. There at the end of the sound, this is the only one that you can actually drive into. So there was actually a building, I think a hotel, some other things, and an airport even. So we have footage of the planes kind of taking off from that airport and just going across the mountains.
Yeah, and then the ship gets to a point and it turns around. And comes back out. So that was kind of nice too to see. And we saw quite a few waterfalls.
We saw seals. Yeah, it was really nice. Definitely one of the highlights of the cruise.
I know. I wish I would have had my longer zoom lens for some of the pictures of the seals, but it's all right.
Yeah,
we did all right with what we got.
Yeah, we got a lot of video and pictures, so you'll see that here. But that was the whole day. And then after we left the Milford Sound and went out onto the Tasman Sea, we had dinner, we went down to Explorers Lounge, and the first game show they had there was called Higher Lower Challenge. And this was another one where they wanted all the people in the audience to go up on the dance floor and then separate themselves. So it was like survey questions.
They asked the passengers, a lot of them, and the crew. And it was good too. They invited, after a couple of them, they invited the bar staff. That was really fun.
That made it fun, At the beginning it was fairly boring, so she was trying to make it exciting, but
they did fun. I was tempted to go down, but I decided not to.
But it was just like, like a Family Feud survey question, and then she would say, well, 50% said this, is it higher or lower? So you had to move to the side of the room if you thought it was higher, or the other side if you thought it was lower.
I'm trying to remember one of the ones, about if the crew has a significant other. I don't know how
in every port.
I don't know how they worded it, but in every port, if it's higher or lower than
5% or something, or 12%.
I know, it was really funny. Didn't all the crew go on one side?
Yeah, the crew. But they were wrong, I think, on that one. But so that was fun. And then they had another game show after that. Can you beat the activity staff? Which the activity director actually made up, kind of just specifically for that, so nobody was aware of it.
But that was kind of fun too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
they got 4 people from the activity staff and 4 people from the passengers.
And you sat across from each other.
Yeah, and they did various games. One of them was to try to take a bite out of a cookie.
Oh my God, that was funny.
Started on your forehead, and most of them were able to do it somehow. It seemed impossible.
I know, it was crazy. I think because they only did 3 out of the 4 on that one, and 3 of the activity staff did it, and then only 2, I think, of the passengers. And then another one, wasn't it something about they had a box in the middle, it was on the screen, and they put up a word, and then it ended up being 3 words, and you had to kind of guess the common phrase or word, and it was in the box.
Yeah, it was basically like that Tri-Bond game that they do where you have to say how they're related. So that was fun too.
Yeah.
And then after that, we watched karaoke. We stayed the whole time for karaoke. Not a lot of people do karaoke on this cruise, so it was the same people over and over, but they were having fun.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch.
And then there was a lady that came and sat next to me on the right. So the two of us, we started singing.
Yeah.
Because, there weren't very many. And then this couple got up and they left and they said, you two should go up there.
Yeah.
You sounded pretty good.
Yeah, they could have gone up. You could have gone up. But
yes, they said that, Alex. Anyways, that was it.
And then after that, we came back to the cabin. So that was...
Yeah, and then we put our clocks back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we put our clocks back 1 hour, and then we're going to do that again either tonight or tomorrow night for Sydney. So, because Sydney is 2 hours behind New Zealand. So,
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're back on Fiji time, and then we'll get to Sydney time, I guess.
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
It's very confusing, but it's not because they make it easy for you.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure what time it is, just turn your TV on, and it's always got it.
Yeah.
Or any of the screens around the ship.
Yeah.
They always have that information.
Okay. So that was our day in Fiordland.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I was not expecting any of that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, honestly. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I was happy that the weather got better.
Yeah, the weather was good. And eventually, the clouds cleared, and
well, they even said that too with the weather, that we were lucky.
It was unusual.
Yeah, it was unusual. So the second half of the day, it was really nice, and you could see stuff. Earlier in the day, it was just pretty overcast, but we didn't get any rain, so that was nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
that's it.
We want to do our shout outs now.
Yeah.
We wanted to do Conrad for a shout out, and also
Colette.
Colette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.